Stop nursing your wounds like a victim. That failure that keeps you up at night, it's not your enemy. It's the barbell you've been avoiding that will finally make you strong. You replay the disaster in slow motion. The promotion you lost, the relationship that imploded, the business that bled dry. The humiliation coats every quiet moment, like a grimy film you can't wash off. Friends offer platitudes about growth opportunities, but their voices dissolve into noise at 3 a.m. when the silence presses in and every doubt you ever buried claws its way back up. The agony isn't the loss. It's the narrative looping in your skull that brands you as defective. You start believing the fall was inevitable because you never deserved to stand in the first place. So you shrink. You abandon ambition, calling it contentment. You trade the fire for a dull ember, terrified of another failure that might finally confirm the verdict you already fear is true. The typical advice, bounce back, stay positive, reframe it, is a sedative. It cauterizes nothing. Wallowing in platitudes just lets the wound fester underground, turning bitterness into a slow poison. You were sold a lie. That failure is a detour on the road to success. That's not it at all. Failure is a controlled explosion that demolishes the flimsy structure you mistook for a self. No motivational quote can rebuild a shattered spine. Only the raw, animal refusal to stay in the wreckage, coupled with a violent hunger to become something dangerously new, creates an unbreakable man. What if the abyss you've been running from is the only forge hot enough to burn the weakness out of you? What if your failure wasn't punishment, but a brutal, unsentimental gift? When you lose everything, a strange alchemy begins. The man who staggers out of the rubble is stripped of pretense, fear, and the desperate need for approval. He is raw material, ready for reforging. But reforging is not gentle. The furnace demands everything you thought defined you. Your credentials, your pride, your carefully constructed story of who you were. You resist, but the fire insists. And in that white-hot surrender, you discover freedom. Not the cheap freedom of having nothing left to lose, but the profound liberation of having nothing left to prove. The mask melts. You inhale smoke and exhale purpose. The first sacrifice is comfort. You stop seeking padding for the fall and start seeking edges to sharpen yourself against. Sleep becomes a reward, not a right. The alarm clock becomes a covenant, not a suggestion. You bleed out the poison of entitlement. You understand that the universe owes no explanation and certainly offers no shortcut. Every ounce of your former life must be reassembled by hands that now refuse to beg. Loneliness becomes a sanctuary, not a sentence. Friends who fed your weakness drift away. Allies who respect your new hunger appear. The silence that once haunted you now hums with the frequency of your own intent. The cost is constant. You must repeatedly kill the old version of yourself that whispers this is too hard. You strangle that ghost until it no longer breathes inside you. Eventually, you notice the shift. You stop looking for external confirmation because your own eyes in the mirror provide a verdict you finally respect. The world's applause or criticism becomes background noise to the engine you've built inside. One morning, you realize peace isn't the absence of conflict, but the possession of an unshakable core. You have walked through a fire that burned away every lie, and now you stand in the ashes, breathing and whole. This is not a comeback story. It is a creation myth. You did not return to what you were. You became what you were always capable of. The failure was the necessary demolition to build bedrock. Stand in the rubble one last time, not as a broken man, but as a sculptor evaluating stone. What you called failure was the quarry where your unbreakable self was excavated.